If you feel torn, confused, and distraught as a daughter of a narcissistic mother and cannot seem to make sense of what happened to you, this episode is for you. Hi, I am Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. In this episode, I will shed light on 6 signs of a narcissistic mother and thoroughly explain the dynamics of a narcissistic mother-daughter relationship. If you're ready to dive in, please subscribe and press the bell icon to stay notified. Before we get started, I'm really curious to know about your narcissistic mother. What was that one trait that made her the most abusive? Drop your answers in the comments below and help other survivors feel validated. Let's get started with number 1. The narcissistic mother sees her daughter as a competition. The narcissistic mother makes her daughter the target to project her insecurities on and creates a sense of competition where the mother has to look better than the daughter, know more about a subject than her daughter does, and has to have the limelight and focus on herself than the daughter. The mother may compete for the love of the daughter's father. She may treat her daughter as a co-wife and may intentionally create rifts between the daughter-father relationship so that she could have her husband all for herself. Consequently, the daughter would feel neglected and abandoned on both fronts and have no one to support her in her childhood and thereafter. When the daughter grows up and enters a relationship, the mother may hit on the daughter's boyfriend, repeating the same dynamic she created between herself, the daughter, and the husband. If the boyfriend turns out to be a narcissist as well, then the daughter is heavily triangulated and sandwiched between 2 abusers who enable each other. The mother interferes in everything to prove that the daughter will never be good enough for the mother or as accomplished as the mother is. Number 2, the narcissistic mother makes the daughter feel stupid, incapable, and a burden. The cruelest and the most damaging characteristic of a narcissistic mother is making her daughter feel incompetent, gullible, stupid, and a burden who shouldn't have been born in the first place. She questions and ridicules the daughter's every move that she makes in her thoughts, feelings, or her behavior, making her feel as if she is an epitome of shame and embarrassment. The daughter believes something is deeply wrong with her when her mother hardly approves and validates her. No matter what the daughter does, the target keeps moving and her every decision, academically, career-wise, or in relationships, is put down either through overt berating or subtle comments like, "Are you sure about working for that company since there would be so many things to take care of? Would you be able to do that?" A chronic feeling of emptiness sets in the daughter and she never develops a proper self. She doesn't know who she is and does not trust herself and her intuition. Quite the opposite, she creates a strong inner critic that becomes a dominant part of her personality and replaces her mother's voice, plaguing her for the rest of her life. This voice shames and belittles her like her mother did whenever she deviates from the path set for her by the narcissistic mother. Shame and no sense of self mixed with absolute fear of abandonment can manifest as borderline personality disorder later in adulthood. Number 3, the narcissistic mother doesn't protect her daughter from harm. This is one of the most painful signs many daughters of such monstrous mothers have shared with me. This could get a little triggering, so here is a little trigger warning. You can be continuously getting sexually abused by someone in the household, like a relative, the mother's brother, the servant, or even your own father, and the mother will not believe you if you tell her about your experiences. Quite the opposite, she may shamelessly protect the person responsible when she should raise hell, hold them accountable, and put them behind bars. She may make you question your memory and say, "He will never do that. How can you even think about such a thing happening? You must be imagining things or looking for attention." What can be the biggest betrayal than that? Your own mother enables the sexual abuser and you're forced to live with her under the same roof. You would inevitably develop extreme dissociative coping mechanisms to survive. This is what is called relational trauma, and that is how a person experiences a moral wound. If this happened to you, you never deserve this, and I'm so sorry that you had no one to save you. You do not need to feel ashamed for anything that happened back then. It's your mother who should be ashamed of herself for not believing you. Number 4, the narcissistic mother is unavailable in all ways imaginable. You may be dying with a health issue that needs immediate medical attention, like a severe urinary tract infection, and she may blame you for getting sick intentionally to punish her. She may even ignore you for faking the illness and leave you to get better on your own. How crazy is that? She has no concern for your health. She simply does not care. And as a child of such a neglectful and inattentive parent, you learn to dissociate from your body to dissociate from your pain. I was shocked and taken aback when a client of mine who happened to be a daughter of such a mother told me that she discovered she had 16 fractures in her ankle when she was young, and she discovered it in her adulthood when she got it checked. Because when she was young, she felt no pain at all. She didn't feel anything only later when she left the narcissistic mother. Talking about the emotional aspect, such mothers are dead. It would be better to expect a statue to show empathy than a narcissistic mother with no soul. There is no motherly affection, no connection, and no understanding. Even in the case of a covert narcissistic mother who may pretend to be all caring and kind. Like a parasite, she would want you to take care of her emotions, ensure she keeps getting supply, and expect no reciprocity. In fact, she would berate you for showing any emotions, especially anger, and call you dangerous and violent. She may say something like, I always knew you had that in you. I could never really trust you. Because of her volatility, emotional immaturity, and unavailability, the daughter would kill her emotions, then approach her mother. She knows that everything will get twisted around from the mother's perspective, and she would get blamed for everything. Number 5, the narcissistic mother guilts you by revising history and the things she has done for you. She thinks she has done you a favor by giving you birth and taking care of you as a child, and it is a debt that cannot be repaid no matter what you do for her. She believes she sacrificed tremendously to have you, when in reality she just donated an egg and failed at every single avenue of parenting. Doing the bare minimum like feeding and clothing is a responsibility of every parent, and it doesn't mean you owe her your life. You didn't ask her to bring you here. She made the choice of getting pregnant and giving you birth. If you have any guilt, release it now. People say you only have one mother, but they do not say, rather forget to say, that you only have one life, which gets destroyed by staying in contact with such a mother. Everything with a mother like this is performance-based, and even when you do your best, she finds a way to put you down. Number 6, and the last one. The narcissistic mother violates every boundary and is never available for support. Walking over your boundaries would mean searching the daughter's room, eavesdropping on conversations, reading the daughter's diary, and providing no privacy. You cannot lock the room, you cannot have friends that she doesn't know about, and cannot keep secrets. She has to know it all and be enmeshed with your life because she sees you as her extension. If she discovers anything that, as per her skewed moral standards, is wrong, she will judge you inside out and shame you before everyone by putting you down and smear your name as a form of punishment. You can never confide in such a mother because she is always spying, always listening, looking for cues and finding things to shame or humiliate you. To seek guidance, you may talk to the mother about a problem you are having, and somehow the conversation becomes about the problem the mother is having. The mother's pain is always more important, more serious, worse, and sometimes even blamed on you because you caused it. You may say something like, I'm having trouble focusing and getting things done. Life is such a struggle nowadays. Instead of comforting and validating you, the mother would reply, I know how it feels. It's exactly how I felt when you were a child because you would never listen. You always did things your way and never understood how I felt. You feel so invalidated, attacked, and humiliated because you expected to get some support, and what you got back was absolute criticism and judgment. In a nutshell, having a narcissistic mother is the worst tragedy one can ever experience. It leaves you stunted and traumatized. I say so because I have been through the same myself. I trust that this episode validated your experiences and gave you hope and strength. Let me know your thoughts in comments, drop a like and share this episode to spread this awareness. I'll talk with you in the next one. Until then, let the healing begin.